Well, the big controversy that's broken out over David Hogg in the last 24 hours concerns Laura Ingraham. So Laura retweeted a piece that was on our website, the piece that was on our website about David Hogg being rejected by certain colleges. So in any case, Laura Ingraham tweets out this story, and we covered it pretty straight. It was pretty objective coverage, or at least it wasn't politically charged. And Laura tweeted this out. She tweeted, David Hogg rejected by 4 colleges to which he applied and whines about it, dinged by UCLA with a 4.1 GPA, totally predictable given acceptance rates. Hey, I don't think that this is particularly awful. Anything that Laura says here is particularly awful. Do I think that it's fair to say that he's whining about it? I think it's maybe half fair or a quarter fair. I don't totally agree with Laura's take on David Hogg's comments here, but the way David Hogg responds is what's really important here. So David Hogg responds to this relatively mild critique by saying that they should boycott Laura Ingraham, right? So he starts immediately, like within minutes, tweeting out Laura Ingram's advertisers and saying that all these places should drop Laura Ingraham. Why? For the great sin of having suggested that he whined about not getting into college. Okay, she didn't say anything racist. She didn't say anything sexist. She didn't say David Hogg is a piece of crap. She didn't insult him personally. Like really, she was insulting his comments, right? The things that he said. He is part of the public discourse. And this is demonstrative of exactly how this game is being played now by the left. They've trot out a bunch of kids. The kids have every right to speak. Again, for the 1,000th time, the kids have every right to speak. They trot out a bunch of kids. And then if you disagree with the kids, they suggest you are attacking the kids personally. And then based on that, they say you shouldn't be on the air. And this is what David Hogg is now doing. Okay, David Hogg does not have, any sort of moral impetus to call for a full boycott of Laura Ingraham based on that tweet. She got ratioed pretty hard on Twitter, meaning that more people replied to her tweet than actually retweeted it, which is very often taken on Twitter as a sign of it was a bad tweet or something. Okay, that's fine, but boycotts? Really? And if we're really at the point in this country where you say something that's even mildly controversial and there are calls for boycotts, then we're not going to have a common culture anymore. We really aren't. Because I promise you, the right is just as capable of this as the left. The right has stayed away from it. In fact, I used to run an organization called Truth Revolt. It was a branch of the David Horowitz Freedom Center. And when I ran Truth Revolt, one of our goals was to provide a mutually assured destruction. The idea was if the left was going to use boycott tactics in order to knock conservatives off the air, then we would use boycott tactics to knock leftists off the air. And then everybody would learn that boycott tactics are bad. That boycott tactics end up knocking voices off the air or destroying the profit margins for shows that are controversial. I think David Hogg should be able to speak out however he wants. I don't think that advertisers should be boycotted for praising David Hogg. I don't think any of those things. But there's this attempt to use market forces to club people with whom you politically disagree, not because they're racist or brutal or horrible, but just because you disagree. And if that becomes our politics, the entire market basis for political discourse in the country goes away, and that is going to have a significant weakening impact on the kind of voices that you're allowed to hear.